Pakistan's northwest frontier province and Azad Jammu and Kashmir are considered some of the most breathtaking landscapes in the world. In Pakistan, ownership of land is central to one's identity, especially in areas where land is scarce. Kashmir is a densely populated place, with people spread out thinly across hazardous mountains. 30 kilometers can equal more than 2 hours of drive time. Avalanches, landslides, and rock falling are prone to the areas, which make it difficult for people to build their homes in these mountainous lands. The Prime Minister of Azad Jammu and Kashmir knows the importance of land for the people of these areas.
Inaccessible heights, उसके ऊपर भी हमारे आदमी ने घर बनाया हुआ है। होल्डिंग्स बहुत थोड़ी हैं, हमारे पास एक रूम में तो है नहीं, मरलों की और कनालों की ज़मीन है, इसलिए हमारे यहाँ ज़मीन की बेपनाह अहमियत है।
The Revenue Department has been responsible for maintaining land records for over 500 years. A map embedded on cloth, known as a latta, is used to determine how much land a person owns. Land record books have also been maintained for centuries, with details such as the father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and son of the landowner. The records indicate how many owners there are in a village, how much land each person owns, and a unique field number applied by the Revenue Department helps them differentiate between the villages. Only the Revenue Department staff can understand completely how this exclusive yet efficient system of maintaining land records works. The massive earthquake of October 8, 2005, measuring 7.6 on the Richter scale, not only killed and displaced people, but caused massive land loss, uprooting thousands. 600,000 houses were badly damaged or completely destroyed. Over 70,000 people died, and the earthquake rendered nearly 3.5 million people homeless. As the reconstruction began, the landless continued to wait. Following the catastrophe, several thousand people lived in temporary shelters and camps, unable to rebuild their homes, as their lands had been washed away, disappeared, or were located along fault lines. Over 30,000 people were living in camps in 2006, out of which approximately 10 to 15% were landless. Although the pace of reconstruction following the earthquake has been exemplary, many families were not rebuilding because they did not have land to build on. To assist landless families which had lost their land in the Earthquake Reconstruction and Rehabilitation Authority, ERA, in collaboration with NGOs, UN Habitat, the Land Administration, and the local government representatives, devised a policy to help beneficiaries purchase new land to rebuild their once lost homes.
When the implementation of this scheme, we tried to make it as transparent as possible and advised what measures to be taken.
In order to be deemed as landless, a person must have less than 350 square meters of land, equaling 5 marlas, as a result of the earthquake or rockfall and landslides caused by the earthquake. When the policy was approved, the project began by briefing residents of camps displaced by the earthquake that a system had been adopted to help them purchase new land to rebuild a safer home and restart their lives. An information campaign was launched to inform landless affectees across the disaster-stricken areas. Posters explaining the criteria and procedure, flyers with details on purchasing safe land, and frequently asked questions booklets were distributed in all camps and areas where landless affectees were residing.
दारी सनद आपको देते हैं, ठीक है, 2 महीने के अंदर अंदर आप जाकर ज़मीन तलाश करते हैं, महफूज ज़मीन हो, जगह महफूज हो, इस तरह की ना हो जिस तरह पहले आपकी जगह थी। इतने हद तक हम आपके साथ तावन कर सकें कि जहां आपका 1 रुपया भी ना लगे, इवन कि आपका जो फार्म होता है उस पर भी 1 रुपया भी ना लगे।
Families that had lost their land would have to apply to land verification units, which were established in 7 locations with the highest records of loss of land due to the earthquake. Embedded within the revenue departments, a comprehensive verification process involving 3 steps would then be followed. Since the end goal is to help the landless purchase safe land to rebuild a home, Step 1 is verification of the landless applicant by cross-checking with the ERA records of destroyed houses. Determining whether or not a person had started receiving housing grants to rebuild their homes needed to be established. Step 2 is the revenue record verification that the person in fact owned land before the earthquake, which could only be done through the historic revenue system already in place. Referring to Latta and record books was essential. Step 3 is the most difficult procedure of the verification process, which is a physical check of the destroyed land. Once their forms were accepted and they were verified as landless, they would become eligible to receive a check for 75,000 rupees to purchase land. It was determined that this amount of land was enough to build a comfortable 2-bedroom home for themselves and their families.
तकरीबन फाल फिल होए थे। उस तो बाद असंगो 2 महीने तो बाद फिर पटवारी साहब मड़े दा रुका भेजिया ने कि आओ तुसां दे असां उथा लैंड स्लेटिंग लिख के आंदी थी ते मड़े को लाओ। उथा गया उन्हें आख्या जी तुसी किसा जगह तो जिमी के नो 5 मरले उसको लो बेनामा कराओ ता असीं तुसांगो इधरो तुसांगो हुकूमत की तरफों पैसा मिल सी।
The beneficiary must negotiate the purchase of land with a seller, and once an agreement is reached, they share the seller information with the land verification unit. This ensures the beneficiary is purchasing safe land within the allotted amount of 75,000 rupees. After a beneficiary has found land to purchase and has submitted all the relevant information to the land verification unit, they are invited to participate in a one-window operation. This one-window operation is the first of its kind in the earthquake-affected areas and allows a beneficiary to become a landowner in less than 1 day. Going from landless to landowner within only a few hours is quite an accomplishment. In normal circumstances, this process can take anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks. A unique result of beneficiaries becoming landowners is that the new land they purchase is not just registered under the name of the husband, as was traditional practice, but also in the name of the wife and their children. This progressive system benefits women who rarely have land ownership in their names. Furthermore, a land transferred would usually cost around 7,500 rupees is done for only 100 rupees. In the end, the one-window operation has saved the beneficiary both time and money.
2 साल टेंटों में गुजारने के बावजूद बहुत तंग हो चुके थे मेरे बच्चे और परेशान थे। ये सर्दी का ये आलम है, बर्फ़ पड़ी हुई थी। इस तरह कई बर्फ़बारियाँ हमने 2 साल के अरसे में गुजारी हैं। दुश्वार गुजार इलाका है। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अब मेरे बच्चे और मैं बिल्कुल बड़ी अच्छे तरीके से ज़िंदगी बसर कर रहे हैं।
मैं पहला बटिया नाल आपने निके निके घर बना के खेडदा रहिंदा सा। हुण असां अपनी ज़मीन मिल गई है, फिर उत्थां हुण घर बना के उत्थे रहसा। पढ़ लिख के फिर टीचर बनसा। फिर मैं सोचदा आए हाय जे मारे अबू अम्मी ना मरन फिर मैं आनी थी होवां। उन्हां नाल असां खेडां खुशी होवे।
Through the Rural Landless Project, several thousand families were able to purchase land to rebuild their homes and their once shattered lives. Hopes and dreams have been restored, and now these families can build a safe, earthquake-resistant home for themselves and their loved ones. A transparent system was put in place to help speed up the process of making landless families landowners once again.
सुबह जब आए थे तो बेज़मीन थे, और अभी जब हम जा रहे हैं तो माशाल्लाह हम ज़मीन के मालिक हैं और खुश हैं।